I think you can do.
I can do without the speaker. Let me just. Hello. Okay. No, it's on. Hello. Okay. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. All right. Apparently, I was behaving like I'm amateur with the microphone. Okay. So 2 things we're going to be doing today. Skill Yeah, just stand near there. Maybe when you stay there, you think doesn't misbehave. So skill mapping exercise and the project exercise. Okay, so we remember that. Remember these skills, 7 skills, right? Or 8 skills. Do you remember them? Essential skills for the PM. Okay. So when you're writing your CV, you have to represent your experiences the way the HR person would be able to consider you to be a product manager. Your CV has to reflect that you are happy and this and working properly. So take out a pen, paper, and let's examine the different skill sets. What we're trying to do is identify transferable skills, okay, from previous work experience to the product. So if you're considering um, past experience, right, and you've done scenario planning before, that is a problem-solving skill. Are we together? That's a problem-solving what? Skill. Uh-huh. So you could put that in your CV and say, okay, I did scenario planning for so and so. Do we understand? Are we following? You're not following. Okay. What we're trying to do with skill mapping is this. We know the 8 essential skills of the peer: communication, problem solving, leadership, professionalism, and all of that, right? What we're trying to do is find areas, okay, in our past experience. Are we together? That is scenario planning in a past experience, okay? I can transfer that as a problem solving skill to my PM role. So if somebody says, do you have problem solving skill? I say, yes. I did scenario management, inspirational and motivational. This one, it could be that you gave motivational speeches, okay, or you were a motivational speaker. You had 20 motivational sessions. That shows leadership. That demonstrates. I'll share all of this. So don't you have to write all the one you can't, so that we don't spend too much time. Under strategy, under strategic skills. Ah, it's making me cringe. Is it disturbing you guys too?
It's seriously glitching. I think I will just
Okay,
have
let
to
me
go
use
off. I can't hear
my
you. I'm not following at all.
it's a manly voice. Okay,
No, I
under
think it's not your
strategy,
fault. It's glitching. It goes off and on. I barely hear
we
you.
have strategic planning. Okay,
Um,
so if you so by the year and you hit 70% of it, you understand? That set a goal is a strategic. Uh, what we've done there, what I hear your voice and it's so fine. You're struck. So what we've done is that we've highlighted a skill, right? Taught, okay, is a way. So it's a way of communication. You taught 70 students in mathematics. That's some level of impact, and they were able to score 70% and above. Does that make sense? High level, low level. So you can, within each of those high levels, you need to look for how they can be expressed in your own area. How did I communicate in this role? How did I prioritize in this role? That is a transferable skill. Okay. Now, let's look at how you can convey these skills in your CV. So, communication, this should just give you an idea. You get all of this right, all of these right talks. You can say you articulated something in your CV. You can write you articulated this to this person. You conveyed um, you conveyed a presentation on mental health that led to 80% of the participants. uh, Okay, so some keywords you can use for communication: articulated, conveyed, persuaded, clarified, engaged, negotiated, presented, coordinated, interpreted, advocated. Those are some words. How many of you have done? You at least you've done this CV, this part with describing your skill set on the CV, right? I think I may have to take it. How many of us were on the class yesterday? Four of us, three. So maybe I'll just do that for the sake of those who were not on the live session yesterday. For problem solving, what you can use are analyzed, innovated, resolved, optimized, troubleshoot, overhauled, streamlined, deduced, reconciled, diagnosed. Those words communicate problem solving. Are we together? So you can say that you analyzed performance of SS3 students, okay, and was able to give recommendations on how to improve them. That shows problem solving skill. For leadership, I'll go back to yesterday's session and just give a brief example. For leadership, you can say directed, inspired, led, orchestrated, mobilized, mentored, chaired, empowered, cultivated, commanded, etc. Professionalism, you executed, you perfected, you demonstrated, you modeled, you upheld, you organized. Um, Okay, let me show you. That is very. Is that better? Is that better? Can you see? Some. How about now? Eh? Okay. Awesome. So the SIM framework is how you define your accomplishments. Is a framework developed by the your facilitator on the product dive platform, and is how you basically define accomplishments in your CV. So the skill set, whether it's leadership or prioritization or whatever, right? Then the impact, then the metric. So if you see this example, skill set is leadership. Okay. Uh-huh. Under leadership, you're not just going to say leadership of team created a fast, you won't communicate it like that. Those keywords I gave, okay, would be what will guide you. So you led a team in creating faster approach to resolving customer complaints. Metrics, reduce customer resolve by 40%. If you want to represent this on your CV, you say, I led a team that created a faster approach to resolving customer complaints, and it led to a reduction in resolve time by 40%. That is how you reflect your transferable skill from one area of experience that you had, right, into a particular PM role. Let's use prioritization, for example. Okay, what can we do with prioritization? So, an impact of prioritization can be that it can lead to savings in expenditure. So, for my own, let me use my own self as an experience. There was a time we were trying to market. No, we're not trying to market. We're trying to launch a new product, and we needed to know which platforms to focus on, which ones were more important, instead of just pushing the thing on all social media platforms. It was going to cost money for us to do all of that, all right? But I prioritized, okay, I prioritized the platforms, right, for the product launch that led to a savings of 70%. Does that make sense? So I have expressed what? Prioritization skills. Okay? The impact is that there was a savings. The metrics was that the savings was around 70%. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. So the skill set, the impact of metrics. The keywords I gave you were just to help you um, write them, because you're not just going to say prioritization or communication. You say presented, or you say coordinated, you say negotiated. All of it still is an expression of communication. Does that make any sense? Okay, I won't be able to share my CV, but let me try. There's no harm in trying. I have a friend. He says that if you try to tell him to share his own screen, you see, never. He can never share his own screen. I used to wonder what is hiding in the other part of the screen. Let me be like him. I will never share my own screen. So I'm going to share my CV now, and I hope everyone will be able to see it. Career body, resume, resume. So I'll show you what my own resume looks like. Anyways, product management. Okay. Okay, you may not see it. I'll read it. So I have something like introduced new features, okay, to improve value offering by gathering feedback from users through focus group sessions and user research. So, what kind of skill do you think I'm communicating? Introduced new features. Introduced new features. Eh? Marketing, that could fly. Uh-huh. Problem solving, very good. Even communication, because I'm introducing something. Uh-huh. Strategic planning, yes, it also reflects that as well. So you can get very I don't know, you can mix it up, so to speak. The main thing is that you want to demonstrate that you have all these skill sets that makes a product manager who they are. I have another one. Led multiple cross-functional teams across 6 units to plan and organize several events and activities using tools like. So that one is leadership. That one has skill, has impact. It doesn't have metric, but it has tools. It doesn't have metric, but it has tools. Usually, sometimes, so when I used to do my CV, I used to put a list of tools, but I removed it. I incorporated the tools into the achievements. So the skill, the impact, the metric, and the tool. Let me SIMT. SIMT. All right. Okay. Managed the delivery of over 100 issues on Jira. What skill? Managed sounds like leadership, right? Yeah. Managed. Do you understand? It is not led, it's managed, but it's still a leadership expression. Does that make sense now? So when you're doing your own skill sets, you can express them like that. Okay. So let us on our papers now list 5 skills that you have from previous roles, write down their impact and metrics. Now, if you don't have numbers for this, you can use words like significantly, and it was a little bit better, stuff like that, to describe some kind of measurable, not by quantifiable terms, but qualitative terms. Does that make sense? So let's do that now. Let's do that now. If you don't understand, ask questions. Oh. Franca, I hope you're still with us. So I'll be looking for your own responses in the chat. Oh, she's not with us. She has. So this transferable skills. You know the 8 skills now. You know the 8 skills now. Eh? You should just use any of them. Yes, any of them. Any of them. So from those 8, come out with 5 skills. Try. You don't stretch. How will you do it? So think back to a previous experience, work experience you had, where you led a team, where you strategized, where you designed. Can you go back to a previous experience, work experience? Okay, make it 3. So if you did some kind of research, that can come under problem solving because of the analytic part. All right? Does that make sense? I'm going around. Let me see.
Yeah, not. How many of you are teachers here? If you're a teacher, let me see your hand. Let me see your hand. Okay. So communication skills is your teaching. Your teaching, you taught. How many students did you now teach? What did you teach them? How was the improvement? Did they get better or did they get worse? Obviously, not that they go. Okay. As a teacher, did you also contribute to the school? Maybe you made presentations during PTA, or you were the speaker or the PTA host for 10 consecutive years, and the feedback you got was that you always communicated very well. That is a measure of success. Business people, business people, if you have gotten a loan, you've applied for a loan multiple times, you have communication skills, you have to craft proposals. You crafted a proposal that led to a funding of $1 million for your business. Fashion designer, you style 60 outfits. Okay? You style 60 outfits that are 70% of them sold out. Are we getting it? That shows you have design skills. Prioritization. So you made a decision that led to savings. You made a decision to reduce this, something that led to savings of this amount. Who has finished? Three. Three, yeah. Want me to try? All right. The two goes to four. I've been able to apply bank policies and apply them in my job with bank policies and communication. So let's look at that first. Bank policies. Okay. Can you explain bank policy? What do you mean by bank policy? Like the policy of the bank. For example? Like for example, this is to use your mobile. Okay. And then when the customer issues I think you have to my protocol and then were you awarded something for that? Probably just so when you say appreciated in what way, how will you recognize for it? Okay, so let me see if I can put that now. Professionalism. Let's see. Achieved consistent positive feedback.
Okay, upheld, right, or exemplified excellence in. So it would be nice to have, if you have an award, now it gives it more weight, right? So you could say awarded, right, for upholding bank policies, all right? Now that's more of an achievement. That shows professionalism. One, you were awarded for it, okay? But then, if you're not awarded, you could say consistently recognized, okay, for upholding bank policies in so and so role. But so that now, what you learn from these kinds of exercises is that whatever role you're doing, look for achievements that you can say. If you say you were awarded, okay, and you have a certificate that shows a model employee, it's great. But however, you can still say that okay, your exemplary behavior, right, was constantly commended. That's also a good way to show professionalism. And then in the interview, they can ask you, "Oh, why did you put this?" And you say, "Well, it's very common in my office for people not to do this thing, but for the past 3 years, I've not had any incident of this and this and this and that." Another way you could phrase it was, um, if there are no other staff that has maybe the same level of compliance like you, right? You could say um, zero complaints, right? From whatever in the past 3 years, you've not had any complaints from your manager on, regarding upholding office policy and those kind of things. Does that make sense? That's a very tough example, actually. So it's always good to have an achievement attached to it. But nice one. What's the second one?
Second one, problem solving. How to new solutions to customers who are having difficulties with their mobile app.
Okay.
Transferring and
So, do you remember the number of solutions you provided?
close to 5%
Okay.
of customers.
So resolved the challenges of 85% of our customers. Resolve challenges with mobile app usage or banking app issues for 85% of our customers. You understand? So you have one problem solving skills you demonstrate because you resolve the issues, right? You have the impact, you resolve the challenges with the using of the mobile app, and then you have the metric 85% of the customers. Who else wants to try?
I collaborated with my team to create a comprehensive game design.
I collaborated with my team to create a comprehensive game design document, game mechanics, styles, art styles, and technical specifications, leading to a good implementation of clear and timely milestones. Right, so this is good, but this is not too long to see. So I collaborated with my team to create a comprehensive game design document and implemented it, hitting all the milestones. Right, and achieving 1% implementation success rate. Does that make sense? So don't make it too long. Try to keep it as short as possible, but I planned and conducted workshops and training sessions on sustainable development initiatives, such as so you don't need to the details, right? So what you say is I executed workshops impacting more than 200 people in South Nigeria. Then I developed a marketing campaign. The current campaign was a 12% increase in customer acquisition, 8% increase in retention. So I again, I led and executed a marketing campaign that led to 300% increase in customer acquisition. And then you can also scan the security metrics and put them as two different achievements. identify and address brand inconsistency to label design, and service of increase in customer satisfaction. Um, so, uh, I analyzed um, the brand design and recommended um, new design. Okay. So I designed a brand, okay, that led to 10% increase in customer satisfaction. So the story of that achievement come up in the internet. They're like, oh, that's not this. Well, how did this happen? And they're like, how can you say? I say that. So I, one of the metrics was I grew the Telegram page in 2 months by 600%. It came up by 600%. I was like, how did you do that? I'm like, okay, so this is what I did, this is what I did, and all of that. But all the way was okay. One, have growth skills, okay? And the impact is there that I will do community Telegram that I can show you the numbers. Does that make sense? This is what I tried. Let's go here.
I analyzed the effect and prevention of COVID-19 to avoid spread during the lockdown. And secondly, manage cases of violence that would have drastically cause damage and overall well-being of the nation, which impacted positively the
So that third one is good. Then was inheritance and inclusion event had a positive impact. Okay. Now, try to always, so you see positive impact. It's always, as a product manager, you have to always measure things, right? Positive impact is yeah, it's okay. It's qualitative, but it's not quantitative. So the lesson here is that you did something, 20 people, you did change 20 people,
capture the number.
ask them, get feedback from them. What was the training? So imagine you had gotten feedback from people on rate the training 1 to 10, and then 7% tells you 6/10 or 7/10. Right? You can now see the 70% rating control participants. So you see now it's more quantifiable and it has more what's the word? More value, more power. The one we talk about research. So you analyze.
The effect and prevention of COVID-19 to avoid spread
Okay, was this research?
will not be research.
Okay.
It was a kind of training and evaluation.
So what was the outcome of it?
Outcome was that the people that were involved in the training got the right information on how to prevent.
So you transfer relevant knowledge, that's communication, transfer relevant knowledge to 30 participants, right? Improving their skill on production, implementing parts. Then this one, you manage a conflict that led to significant savings, um, so things like that. I had to find it on five of my numbers. So I think I can say I led and I helped manage the conflict. I led to see are you getting yes. Initially I did. You wanted to know what give me an example before. Your outfit is like it's made by you fashion design. Correct. So what do you do? I was trying to talk to people. Okay, so talk to a group of 28 persons on data collection and compilation, and 95% of them to practice. But if they always, you just keep trying to find it.
Um,
Design and style, 100 ready to wear dresses and how they and how they want to set up, right? So design and profit, that is only impact on metric. What skill would you leverage to improve profit? So design and style, 100 ready to wear that led to improved profit of 50% for alien house. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay. How do you understand that now? So you keep refining it. What you do is that when you write your CV and all these things, give it to your peers, your mentors, to do have to catch that and work for you. Okay? All right. Let's see what you have. Skill set problem solving. Taught, teach. So you taught people how to write. Um, how many people did you teach? Okay. Taught 20%. Taught 20 people how to write. 80% graduating with high scores or high marks. In order to own my customer, I just I developed a strategy to reduce customer debt by introducing suites in place of without getting. So I developed a strategy to reduce customer debt, and I developed a strategy to reduce the number of customer debt due to lack of change, and it led to a reduction of 50%, or it reduced from 50 to 20 a month. You may not have these numbers because naturally, we don't usually measure these kind of things. We don't usually measure these kind of things. But so what it should be as a lesson for you, let's say within the next 2 months of this program, okay, while you are doing your business, note your accomplishments. You're selling something, note what you did, note the increase in sales, note the before, note the after. Because what that will help you is that you now be able to communicate with actual numbers or percentages, which now give your so because I too also have that problem transitioning into product management where I was trying to find how many did I, what did I do, and all of that and all of that. But over time, I learned that you can measure your own success, even if you're not a product manager, and you become handy when you're not a product manager. When you're working for someone, businesses are concerned about impact, no matter what you're doing. Whether you're doing marketing, whether you're doing presentation, there has to be some kind of quantifiable impact. Even if it's not going to directly affect the revenue, it should affect something that can affect revenue. Are we together? That's very important. So this is clear. You guys, what you do is work on your CVs and share them with me on the group, so I would look at them. I think there's already a CV structure that was given on the class. You couldn't download. Okay, just somebody can share it on the group. If you can't, just let me know. I'll share it on the group. Okay. You have a question?
experiences that are not relevant? Yes, we can. It's not every experience that you would add to your CV. Are we together? So you can figure out the ones that are most related or needed for the job. Uh-huh. So if the job is asking for somebody who has strong communication, strong presentation, and strong design, you may not be a designer, but you are a stylist, and it's an entry level role. You can say you styled something that shows that you have design skills, especially if you've styled 100 outfits. That's a lot of design skills. You understand? Uh-huh. So find what is relevant, include what is relevant for that role. Usually, now your product management resume should be 1 page. If it goes more than 1 page, maybe 1.5. Uh-huh. Keep your experiences to about 3 to 4 experiences. Within those experiences, you want to have like 2 or 3 achievements. 2 or 3 achievements, nothing too much. So you find it's all about weight. Which of the experience, which of the achievement has more impact in getting that job role? The funny thing about product management is that from even applying for the product management role, you have to think. I started 100 outfits and it led to a revenue and sold them and that led to a revenue of 1 million naira in 3 months. Okay. And I started 100 outfits. Okay. And I trained 20 people to start 100 outfits. The 1 million naira revenue has more weight. So that's the one I'll put. That's the one I'll put. I'll find the ones that resonate more with that particular role or promise more value to the customers. Sorry, to the company. To the company. Let me see one of my. Let me check one of my CVs. Okay, so these are. Let me give you an example now. I'll give you an example of a weak achievement and a strong one from my own resume. Manage the delivery of over 100 issues using Jira. Now, successfully reduce cost by 70% for an education product by executing a strategy based on user research, insights, business model analysis, and ideation. So, the way I would have rewritten this now would be executed a strategy, right, based on research and analysis that led to 70% cost of reduction, okay, during launch. That's how I've rewritten it. So which of those two, the one about managing delivery of 100 issues and the one about cost reduction, which one is stronger? So that one is going to be priority. I'll put that one there. Another example of a weak one, develop business models. Or the way I would have written that now is developed and implemented a customer acquisition strategy that grew the Telegram community by 40% in 3 months. So which one is stronger? For second one, right? The one with business model is stronger is weak. The numbers are not. The Telegram is much stronger because there's a direct impact. One, if you look at the things that the adult business model, yes, what was the impact of the business model? There was no quantifiable number. Yes, it ended up in launching a product, but what was the impact of that? But the other one says 400% in 3 months. The impact was very clear. It was measurable. So always strive to have these kinds of impact in your business, in your CV rather. Okay, if we are good, we can go to our business exercise, the research work we did. So we're okay with that, right? Okay, that's right. Awesome. Okay, so because we must balance theory with practical. So we're going to be exploring what we were doing last week, the task I asked you guys to do was to go out and identify problems, okay? Identify problems within the fashion industry, shoes, bags, and all of that. Uh-huh. What we are trying to do there is understand the problem space, okay? We can't just build the problem, sorry, build the solution without understanding what the problem is. It doesn't make sense. So we're trying to understand the problem space. And remember, I gave you guys three sets of activities that a product manager does. What are those three sets? Eh? Strategic product activities, inbound activities, outbound. Within the strategic, there are three sub um, things, sub processes, sub activities. What are they? Insights, analysis, and direction. So insights, please, is about understanding the problem space. What you were doing last week. I'm sure you talk to people. How many of you talk to someone? Tell the truth, shame the devil. So, but what we're going to do today, we're going to do it in class. Okay? Are we together? We'll try to be as fast as possible. So the first step, market exploration. Market exploration. Our objective is to understand the current landscape of shoes, bags, clothes, and refurbishments. That's what we're trying to do. We're going to collect data. We're going to analyze that data, identify gaps, tips, leverage surveys, secondary reports, and all of that. So let me, from the data you guys have gathered, oh yeah. So let's do this. For this one, let's go online now. Let's go online now and start looking for problems within the shoe industry in Nigeria. Somebody should Google. One person Google. One person read the problems that you identified during the week. Somebody, so this group, one person in this group, madam, your job is going to be noting the problems we are identifying. So write problem list. So who's going first? Now, for this market exploration, yeah, we would have read reports. So usually, when we are building a product and you're doing market exploration, you might have to download a report. A couple of months ago, we're trying to build a product, but we started with first exploring the market. We paid 60,000 naira to get a report online that they had already done research on the market, right? So we got that report to understand what the market was about. Now, in your case, you might not need to have to download. There are free reports sometimes. Somebody should do that quickly. What are the problems? What are the challenges? Or what is the state of the fashion and manufacturing industry in Nigeria? I'm waiting. So that is what we're doing is basically relying on reports is called secondary research. Doing our own surveys is primary research. So data collection, utilize market research to gather data on market trends and all of that, analyze the data, and so forth and so on. Has anyone found anything? Eh? No network, sorry. So
Better. Are you hearing us? So we're reading an article, all right? Problems faced by fashion designers: limited access to resources and funding, lack of proper infrastructure and manufacturing facilities, counterfeit products, and plagiarism. Counterfeit products and plagiarism.
People copying people's work. Today, somebody is doing you see, lack of proper infrastructure and manufacturing facilities. Did you get that?
And manufacturing.
Facilities. You got that? Limited market reach and competition. Limited market reach and competition. Got it? How many problems is that? Are those?
Has anybody found anything else?
Network. Okay. You can put that as a challenge. Difficulty in accessing research.
Can I read mine?
Yes.
On the production side.
Okay.
Okay, there's high cost of production, like availability of raw material.
I think we mentioned, what was the first one we mentioned?
Limited access to
Limited access. Okay, then they.
funding. This one is high cost of production, like
No, I think that was the first. Hold on.
Sir, I have one.
What's the first problem?
Limited access to resources and funding.
No, there was one before. So I mentioned, okay, lack of proper, okay, yes, that's correct. That's correct.
So yours is high cost of materials.
material and production.
When you say materials and production, what makes
Okay, let's use for fashion designers now, like making of dresses. People that we
Now,
have to buy
pause.
materials.
What I am doing is what you will do when somebody says they have a problem. You want to dig deep. Because production is a, how will I put it, is a composite thing. It's composed of multiple parts. So I say production is high, is costly. What aspect of production? Is it the talent? Is it the material?
Materials.
The materials. Okay, just the materials.
I think majorly is the materials. for
Okay,
now, for me.
okay, all right. So high cost of materials.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Any problem? You said you had okay.
For the product
Hold on.
itself,
Hold on.
affordability and price is like the problem
That's for who?
for clothing and shoes
Affordability.
and price.
When you say affordability for the customer,
Yes, for the cost.
they can't afford it. Okay, so you say so right, good affordability and price,
Quality.
quality. Now don't
Now,
now,
I want to use made in Nigerian product. Now, as an
hold on.
example.
Before you go on, don't just mention one word. Say it is.
I don't like line there.
I know. Express them as a problem. When you say quality, quality is a problem. How? Bad quality. Bad quality of what exactly? For who exactly? The more defined it is, the clearer you are on what exactly you're dealing with. Because if you just say quality, because when you were telling me quality, I was thinking, is it quality for the producer or is it quality for the consumer? So can you articulate that better?
Okay. Let's say bad quality
Of
of products.
products.
Yes.
Okay.
Then mass production. I don't want
No, just say.
mass production, like overproducing particular designs.
Okay.
And all.
So you put that as lack of innovative, lack of new products, lack of innovative products, lack of new products. Yeah, so there's nothing new. There's nothing new. It's always the same thing, right? Too repetitive, something like that. You can put it that way. One of the things you will do, the product management will help you do, English. You will learn how. Yeah, because you have to communicate. You have to be able to spell things properly out ahead. You don't want somebody really now solve the wrong problem. You say quality of product. The person go and buy machine. Meanwhile, it's just that you just need to do it well ahead. So those things need to be spelled out.
There's one thing I don't know to, but what I said is signature and unique point. I think most times I'm using Nigerian codes now.
So
We lack the confidence to always put our brands, like a signature of our brands,
So-
on our clothing. So
it's not how to express that. So just write that as it is, right? We're going to look at those problems again, and we're going to what we're doing is that we're finding problems, we're identifying them. There's a part where we have to now define the problem. Let's just gather all of them. So lack of confidence in representing brands. Now, that may not be a problem. That is a symptom. Why? So, part of understanding problems better, there are several tools and frameworks. One of them is called 5 whys. You ask why 5 times. So, if I ask you, why are they having problems? Or why are they lacking? Am I making you move up and down this camera? Oh my God, I'm sorry. When I move, you move. When I move. So why are they not confident?
okay, I think it takes us back to the quality of our product.
So they're not. So now is the real problem still now goes back to the quality. So we're going to dissect all these problems using that 5 whys.
What about trust? Like lack of trust on the made in Nigeria brand.
Lack of trust. Add it. Add that problem.
I think scarcity of machines to do like.
I think we talk about inability to access. Yeah, it's part of the infrastructure. Somebody wanted to add the problem here. Say it. Quality of raw material. I think that's different. There's the she was talking about quality of produce. You're talking about quality of raw materials. So when you say quality of raw materials, is that there's no there's poor quality of raw materials. So it's poor quality of raw materials. Poor quality of raw materials. We should have like 15 problems by now. Cost of labor, high cost of labor. Labor cost. What is the problem? Is it high cost of labor, low cost of labor? High cost of labor is different from lack of manpower. High cost of labor is different from lack of manpower. We're taking both. We're gathering all of them. When we look deeper into these problems, we discover that their root causes are the same. Okay, so we're actually doing 2 things: market exploration and side. Okay. Well, I think we were looking more at the manufacturer side when we're identifying those problems. Okay. So what you do is you put the manufacturer problems. So you just note those ones. You note those ones. That is not to say that you cannot, in your market exploration, find customer needs. You can also get them. You can find them, but you want to be able to separate those two. Now let's go on to needs analysis. So this one in particular was what I asked everyone to go out and find, right? This one, are we together? This is what I asked us to do. Go out and talk to customers, people that buy shoes, wear shoes, and all of that, and identify preferences, pain points, and unmet needs. So these are just some of the steps: surveys, interviews, focus groups. Surveys, you have filled survey before now. Survey form, you put answer. Interview is where you're talking. Uh-huh. Focus group, I can have like 5 people, and I'm asking them questions, I'm getting their feedback. So, depending on the method that suits you, it's fine. I went to the focus group and we spent, how much did we spend? I did the focus group after I've lost the money. I did the focus group. So if I imagine I spent 50,000 first, did the focus group, I lost 5 million. Rema. Is it Rema like Rema the mission would be Rema of God? Which one?
Rema of God.
How do you know that Rema's name is not Rema of God? So engagement methods to get customer needs, diverse perspectives, ensure that you are not just looking at one group. You're talking to young, old, and all of that. When you gather the feedback, you'll be able to identify common problems. Are we together? So from this now, when we now get the things you've gathered, when we look at all of them, we'll be able to divide and say these problems are more for manufacturers, these problems are more for consumers. Then there's some problems that are more for processors and all of that. Now, the tip when you're doing customer needs analysis, you have to be empathic. Empathic means that it's not sympathy. Empathy is when you put yourself in somebody else's shoes. So the best way you can understand the problem and solve it is to put yourself in the user's shoes. So you're talking to them, interviewing them. You want to try as much as possible to put yourself in their shoes, try to understand them, understand what they are dealing with, what their challenges are. And then ask open-ended questions. Don't ask. Surveys are great, yes, but they are low level. Interviews allow you to explore more things. Example, did you have how was your day, good or bad? That's close-ended. Tell me about your day. That's open-ended. That person can tell you about their day and night. You understand? So you want to be more open-ended. That will allow you to uncover more insights. Sometimes it's the things that you did not ask for, right, that would end up being the insights that you need. But it's how you ask the question that will determine it. Are you fine? That's a yes or no answer. How do you feel? Well, I'm feeling somehow. Can you explain this somehow? You're now getting deeper. You understand? So with that, you're able to. You don't ask, okay, is the shoe paining you? The shoe might be good, right? But you've only narrowed the question to pain. You can say, how does the shoe feel? Right? What's your experience with the shoe like? Because, well, sometimes I walk and there's this part I was, pricking my leg, and I wish that the pain open-ended. So these are some tips. Shoes, bags, and the likes. Who wants to share? What are people facing? Preferences. Okay, let me use myself. One, shoes, like most shoes I wear, the soles are too hard and it hurts my feet. That's the problem. What is that? Hard soles. Customers are complaining of feet hurting them.
What else? Let's use ourselves as an example. Since we not talk to people now, let's talk to ourselves. Shoes, bags. You spoke to who? Okay. It's very hard to find shoe size or good shoes or fine shoes. It's hard to find shoe size. So guys, you can put that males complain of finding shoe size for fine shoes, right? That's a problem. Any other issues? Okay. Any more problems? Bags?
Lady shoes.
Ladies shoes.
I found out that like one lady in my church, she complained that the sole of the shoe is not strong. If you walk under the rain, even if you, then you walk under the rain, the rain that you feel off accidentally or the next day. You cannot wear it twice without sewing it round.
Okay, good. Put that. I can't wear it twice without showing you around. That's a direct put. And then it's more weather friendly. More weather friendly.
Just like for clothes, yeah, this is a raining gown now, straight fancy gown. So there are some people I ask me, think that why wearing that gown? For them to reduce their movement health and it's
Right.
yes.
Clothing is too restrictive. The clothing is too restrictive. That's a problem. That's what we call it. Yes. Now imagine that you spend your time collecting issues. Like you just be I can just do this thing now. I'll solve. You just start solving them one by one. You just kind of like differentiate yourself from most of the market. People have problems with that. People are working day and night before. That's why pastors are doing so well. They know how to. They tell you bring your problems to me. Come. So you too as an entrepreneur or product manager, bring your problems. Design solutions.
Yes. Why they put on short skirts, like pencil short skirts? We always compare height from time. Even when we want to pick out something from the friend, we not be able to.
So we still say restricting, it's still restricting clothing, so it's restricting them. It's restricting them.
But somebody said that some clothes have been washed in washing.
So clothes are not washable. They're not machine wash friendly. Some clothes are not machine wash friendly.
I mean some materials also. Some materials do select machine.
Okay.
Yes. When you are sewing, you skip the glue. You do select machines.
Yeah.
Yes. While sewing the glue, since the material is going go with that same machine, while sewing it keeps the trade.
Okay, is it the sewing?
Yes.
So this is more of a manufacturing issue. Right? Okay. Tell my mother. make sneakers. Sneakers are expensive. Original sneakers are excessively expensive. Knockoffs are deceptively expensive. Um, what's the other one? Africa is obviously Africa. That's it's a problem. Why does it have to be like Africa? Why or is it okay? Is it as a person is expensive too as well?
It's expensive. You see, Oscar, they're selling you 6,000 naira. And you have this importance.
Okay. So we have a lot of problems, right? Now, I want you to think critically about these problems. Can we group them? We can group them under certain themes, right? Categories and themes, right? Let's not do that yet. Let's look at other ways of market problem identification. Competitor analysis. Understand competitor strengths, weaknesses, positioning, and marketing strategies. Steps. Identify competitors. So, Dahel F&M, Fashion and Manufacturing. Can we find competitors? Do we have competitors? Who is a competitor in Canada? A to Z Couture. If you don't know A to Z, then do you know A to Z? You don't know him. He's a competitor. One of the shoes for 5,000. Minimum. Handmade, original. That's a competitor. He has strengths, he has weaknesses. There's the way he has positioned himself, market strategy. So his strength is that his stuff is handmade and high quality. Okay? His weakness is higher, it's expensive. One. He could have internal weaknesses that we don't know about. Okay? But he has external market weaknesses that we can't recover. Too expensive, too exclusive, and all of that. His positioning is that he's a luxury brand. Okay? It's luxury. I mean, 35,000 naira. It's a luxury for a pair of shoes. That's luxury. What's his marketing strategy? He only advertises what he has sold. And when you order, it has to be made for you. Yeah. So bespoke kind of thing. Now, first you want to identify your competitors, do a SWOT analysis on them, and then find opportunities where you can differ. So for us, from the competitive analysis now, maybe looking at A to Z, for example, we know that the opportunity we can identify a problem. The problem is that some of the top brands are too expensive. Okay, and we can highlight that there's a need for maybe a cheaper alternative. Or so because we don't want to start by preferring solutions, we can rephrase that problem like this. We can say there's a lack of cheaper alternatives, okay, in the market. There's a lack of cheaper alternatives in the market. Do you understand? We've looked at several brands. Well, I'm assuming that we look at several brands. Let's say we look at them and we see that they are producing handmade and all of them are expensive. We will say, okay, we noticed that we did a competitive analysis and we noticed that there's a lack of cheaper alternatives in the market. So that's a problem. So one of the tips in doing competitive analysis is that you're looking for patterns in customer feedback on competitors to identify gaps and opportunities. There was a product I was building, and one of the ways we were discovering problems was we went to Play Store, went to several apps that were like our own, and we now went to look for 1-star rating, 2-star rating, 3-star rating. People that were complaining. Somebody say, I ordered my food and a thing came, the meat was missing. You wrote down a problem. This one said, since that I ordered food, 48 hours, food has not come. That was problem. I've been calling you people to make order. Problem. So you see how easy it is to find, right? From the competitor. We went to go and see what they were not doing, what we were complaining about, and documented. We now use that to now build our own platform. Okay. The other way, trend analysis. Trend analysis is looking at current trends and emerging trends that are relevant to the market. So you do a trend research. You go on the internet, look what are the latest fashion, right?
What are the trends in customer behavior? Um, so you know that during the COVID-19 period, there was a trend. People were looking for online platforms to either do school or communicate with people, right? Because lockdown now everywhere. People are also looking for cheaper data because now everything is online. Yeah. People are also looking for entertainment. Man, imagine you spending your wife and children that you don't used to like going home early to go and see. Now you're stuck inside the house with them. You are going to look for entertainment. So trend research will help you figure out what is happening with customers, what is the behavior of the market, right? What are people in need of? What are people looking for, right? If you notice now, there's a trend. I've been seeing ladies, young girls wear this mid prop. How do they call this thing? Is it midriff? Is midriff? You want to show their middle belly? It's cropped up. I thought crop top was this one. This one is top one. Crop top is belly. Ah. Yeah, I thought crop top was like in top here. Oh, it's off shoulder. My God. So there's crop top, right? So this one is even crop top and off shoulder combined. It's like semi off shoulder. It's like this. Then it's now looking like this thing. That look like frills, like ribbons kind of thing. They now wear it with big trousers. Yes. Trends. These are trends, right? Like, I was like, every 3 minutes, I see one young girl pass through. I don't understand. I'm buying the clothes on the same place. It's very popular, right? Those are trends. So those trends could either be an opportunity or a problem. I think I should have said this. Usually, your research is not just about finding problems, but also finding opportunities. Okay, finding opportunities as well. So the best way to use it. So when I say opportunities, you're either looking for potential solutions or problems. Or let's take it as problems and opportunities. I think that's better. Problems and opportunities. So trends can help you identify opportunities, right? They can also help you identify trends and problems too as well. There could be a trending problem. Like when people were complaining that people were stealing people's, you remember that one? Touch and run, touch and go. That's a trending problem. So, trend search, you can look into fashion lifestyle habits. What's the fashion habits in the current in Calabar? So globally, local relevance is what are the trends in Calabar right now? Consumer influence, how are they affecting consumer behavior? Because trends are not just by themselves, they can affect the way people do things. Okay? So one of the ways you can find trends is look on social media. Instagram and Pinterest, for example, latest fashion. Okay? Industry reports is a bit advanced, but at the basic level, fashion blogs too. Not Linda Keating, a fashion blog. Name one fashion blog. Fashion designer, if you don't give us fashion blog, we are going to reduce your staff. Fashion. Vicky James. Social media. I think I know that. Vicky James. So yeah, that's one way of uncovering problems and opportunities. Next, regulatory, and this is 4:00. Oh my God, nobody's timing us, so that's how I go. Wahala. Oh, we started at 2, right? Just filled by 3. They have not come to stop us. Regulatory. Yeah, they want to stop me. But you're enjoying the session. Nobody's tired. So, but we'll be done. We're almost done. Regulatory and environmental considerations, right? You have to look at what are the environmental considerations for right now. Right now, there's a lot of talk about sustainability, right? climate change, recyclable, reuse, reassemble, circular economy. Those are environmental considerations. Are there regulatory considerations? Yes. There's now necessary, I think, the treating of sometimes some materials are not treated properly. Fashion people, the manufacturers, some materials they don't treat them properly.
Yeah.
And then when you buy them, things not growing mold.
And some might even excess chemical.
Excess chemicals. So those things are things that you need to consider. So those could be, you could identify problems too. Okay, untreated materials in the industry and all of that. People maybe having health related issues and all of that. So your regulatory research will be investigate laws and regulations relevant to your product manufacturing and scale. There might be laws that will prevent you from even producing some kind of things. You need to be aware of them. Particularly trade laws. Trade laws can tell you that you can't export a particular material to the country. That's the problem for your business. I hope you know. Environmental impact. Some things are not good. Like there are plastics, maybe for example, there are things that don't degrade well. So you want to know those things. How are you going to comply? Plan on how you comply with those considerations. So the tip is to stay updated with regional and international regulations, considering both current and future applications. Let me give you an example of a regulatory and environmental consideration. So there was a startup that I was helping to raise money for an investor. They raised about $30,000, but they had an issue. The issue was that one of the things they needed for their this thing was 100 million, 200 million CBN license. That is, so if you don't factor that as one of your problems, you go and create something now that discover that there's. So for us, we would have said one of our problems would have been expensive license. And however, even though that was a problem, because we knew the problem, we found an alternative. What was the alternative? We partnered with Kuda to give us, to sublet us their license. All we had to know was pay them. Transaction will go through our account into Kuda. They'll get a commission, we get a commission, and all of that. But if we had not identified that problem, we would not have been able to think of a solution.
So let me ask a question.
Go ahead.
Based on what you just said.
Yes.
In case you want to run a bakery and you cannot get licensing on your own because the pay is high, can you also partner with maybe a bigger bakery?
Yes, but you would have not known that if you had not identified the regulatory constraints, right? Yes, so what that problem does for you is that it now gives you the what's the word? I'm going to use a big word. Sorry, the incentive, right? It now forces you to figure out how do you circumvent this. So it's either you circumvent the problem, you go around it, or you drop that solution because you can't solve the problem. You understand? So all of the problems you have listed, we might not be able to solve all of them. Okay? We're going to identify the ones we can solve. Now, we looked at all of these things. These problems can be grouped into common. They have commonalities between them, right? Some problems relate to quality. Some problems relate to aesthetics, stylishness. Some problems relate to performance, fashion. Some problems relate to price. Some problems relate to price. Some problems have weather relations and all of that. Okay? Can we begin to group those problems together? Our problem custodian. So we will not do that in this class. We'll stop here. But has the exercise been helpful? Okay. So what we're going to do, Madam, we can't wait to upload these problems as a list onto WhatsApp. Then we're going to have a session review. No. Not discuss on the problem, we're going to categorize the problems into different segments, different groups. All right? So we can group them. This is how we can group them. We can group them by all these actions talk about cost, quality, and all of that. Which I don't know how to put it. Maybe functionality. We can group them by functionality. We can group them by age group. We can group them by industry type or value chain. Because there's the one that focuses on manufacturing, there's one that focuses on consumption. So we can group them
by different ways. There's no set way. It's just as we look at them, we say, okay, this one, I think this one has to do with cost. So let's bring it here. This one has to do with young people. Let's bring it here. This one has to do with manufacturing. Let's bring it here. Like that we now have a cluster of problems, and then we now decide which cluster we want to address. Which one is more profit desirable? Which one is more feasible, and so forth and so on. Does that make sense? Without further ado, so the other things that we would look at after that is how to structure a market report. So once you've done your research and everything and all of that, these are you present your findings, introduction, with the landscape, insights, and all of that. I have a template that I'll share with you so that you guys can see how it. Let me even show that now. So it's not too complex. Just, although for me, I have kind of evolved new ways to present my market reports because not everybody likes reading. So let me share it. Maybe if you carry reading and give them like this, they'll be very angry with you. Rema, have you seen Rema? Have you caught a Rema that you want to share with us? She might be telling you something, but I don't know how to interpret baby cry. Thus saith the Lord. My market research report does not want to show. Oh. Okay, I'll just share it on the group, please. Myself, I'm even tired. My tired is tired. All right, so I think we've come to the end. I'll share the notes on the WhatsApp group, and then, please, what's your name? Nancy would post the problems, and we would just over the week engage, interact on it, group them into different themes, and just by the time we come back to the next class, we'll be looking at analyzing and coming up with solutions. All right, that makes sense. Thank you very much, everyone. You have been great sports.